conquering lion is I. Rise up like a lion, children, rise up in this time. Conquering it fit to conquer. Conquering it fit to conquer, yes. Conquering it fit to conquer. Strong like a lion we are. Conquering it fit to conquer.
Hello, lovely people. It is a beautiful day here at the meeting place of heaven and earth, Mount Shasta, California. God and Goddess, thank you so much for this beautiful day, for that warm sunshine, and all of the lovely creatures and scenery, all of the nature that we have here around us. Thank you for continuing to bless us with life and all of the things that we need on a daily basis that gets us through. Thank you so much for the abundance that we have as well. Help us to see the ways in which others are in need so that we can fulfill those needs and help to raise this world's vibration back up to El Kush. Thank you so much for the insight and wisdom in the Holy Megillah and for all of the people that are awakening to it. Thank you so much for helping us to spread the truth with love and compassion and kindness. In the name of Elohim, I pray. Thank you so much for this day. Amen. Today on the Nasrian calendar, it is Mind Day and the noontime peace contemplation on our screen. Our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. To all of the helpful thoughts of my mind, send your angel of power. Yes, it is so important that we pay attention to what we are putting in, garbage out for sure. Hello, Kyle. How's it going? Kyle says, good afternoon. Wish I could be in Mount Shasta again. Are you planning on coming to Mount Shasta in the future? As many of you already know, I do host full moon celebrations during the summer. The first one will be July 29th. And you drive up all the way as high as you can to Mount Shasta, to Old Ski Bowl is what it is called. There's a trailhead there that you can, continue up the mountain. But it dead ends in a big parking lot, and we have, multiple tables worth of free food, a fire, fellowship, fun times to, join with people, meet new people, and get to connect with people. The full moons are definitely going to be a little bit different this year. Many of you that have been watching know that my friend drummer Dave passed away, and he was definitely, I'm pretty sure he was at almost all of my full moon celebrations, and one just popped into my head that was really funny. We were at Bunny Flat, and this isn't what I wanted to talk about today, but that's okay. We were at Bunny Flat doing the ceremony, and this car, comes speeding through the parking lot, steaming, like smoking really bad. And then drummer Dave gets out. And I'm just like, oh, this is so funny. He had a show in he played drums in a band and had a show in another town, and literally got in his car and raced up the mountain with like a bad engine or transmission or whatever, knowing that, and still did that all the way, smoking his car up just to get to my full moon celebration. And yeah, he was always really nice. And I would need a place to change my clothes. When I get up there, it's warm, and then throughout the day, it gets colder. And before I had a vehicle up there with me, I would need somewhere to change, and he would always say, hey, you can go and change in my car or whatever. And yeah, it was just really, really nice. So the full moons are definitely going to be different without him, but I'm also looking forward to the progression and change that has been happening, trying to turn them more into this general gathering, drum circle type thing, to an actual Nasrian celebration, and having a ritual type ceremony at midnight, and having multiple people be able to share what's on their hearts, so that we can actually, go home with something tangible, more than just a drum circle. And, as I've said before, there's a time and a place for that kind of vibe. That's great. But for those of us that are usually seeking a little bit deeper of a connection on a different level. Not that musical connections can't be deep, they definitely can. I like to have my ceremonies where we talk up there. So, anyways, thank you, Drummer Dave, for your soul's light that you shine so brightly with us and so many people around Mount Shasta. Kyle says, if I can save up enough, maybe I'll try to show up in September. Oh, cool, for your birthday. Kyle's and my birthday. Is that how you'd say that? Kyle and my birthdays are both in September, relatively close. Hey, Dave. Dave says, Drummer Dave will be missed. He definitely will. Like, people around town just knew that guy, and what a legacy to leave behind, to have, so many people, not only mourning your loss, they're not cheering that you left because you were such a jerk, that they're like, thank goodness his world's a better place, right? They're actually mourning your death, and they're like, man, what things can I maybe learn from his life and what he did and how he treated people, that I could take a piece of that and kind of honor him in a way, going forward. And it's kind of a bummer that he hasn't gotten to really see my kindness star of compassion shining through. So at least, he can look at us from a different, different place. And yeah, it's a great thing to know that our loved ones are still alive and connected to us, that the soul still goes on, and that there are literally meeting places in the spiritual world for us to meet with our loved ones, whether they are loved ones from this lifetime or previous lifetimes. I really love that in the Holy Megillah, how it talks about those like fellowship, I wanted to say fellowship hall, but more like a fellowship room, where you can go and commune, because Jaja already foresaw ahead of time that we would make these connections throughout lifetimes, and wanted to be able to go and bond with those souls, and made a way for that to happen. Like, it's so cool just to think about how, for fathomless duration, Yah contemplated on how creation should happen, and all of these details, all of the inner workings, the karmic system, the school system, the plan for ultimate salvation, the fact that Jah and Jala, the divine masculine and feminine, danced together to create everything, and their dance is within everything. That all was forethought by Yah before the split, between male and female even happened, before Yah became Jah and Jala, who eventually became us, everything that is in existence. So Dave says his laugh is contagious. Oh man, Dave here and I got to spend quite a bit of time with Drummer Dave in this past maybe year or so. We were doing karaoke nights in Mount Shasta, and he would come, and we just have hours of footage of not just us all playing together, but like me and Drummer Dave would get into things like, just, I don't know. One of the things I loved about him was that he would always say something really controversial, and just be like, we're all sitting around this campfire, and all of a sudden this, loud, just lovable guy is just like, and those Democrats trying to get our children to be the wrong gender or something, just like, just things that, I mean, he's not wrong, but like, a lot of people are a little bit more sensitive about saying these kinds of things in these kinds of situations, but he always would bring up something that was controversial, and I love that, because then it opens up a conversation, and then truth seeds can actually be planted. Of course, back then I wasn't. He would wear this shirt that had Trump and maybe Mel Trump and like, gosh, I don't even actually know who the other people on the picture on his shirt was, but he would come up to the bonfires, and I would be like, go to hug him, like, oh, I don't really want to hug you with that shirt on, but I'll hug you anyways. And I definitely planted a lot of seeds about Trump being an invert and all of those other types of things. So yeah. Anyways, again, thank you, Drummer Dave, for your existence and everything. Dave said yours is too, when it's really big. Yeah, I need to get into doing the news of the weird again, just to have that raw laughter and fun times here with other people, so that other people can can enjoy in the contagion, because laughter is contagious. And really, one of the things, what did Christ say about the Green Lion Army? That having a, how does actually get the quote so that I don't butcher it, but the way of the Green Lion is to boldly defend Mother Nature using the principles Zion, while always having a healthy sense of humor and a kind heart. So, that being said, I'm going to read the poem. It's just a little tiny poem today about Mind Day. I thought it was kind of fitting. It's called Your Mind is a Garden by Arsal. I don't know if I said their name right, but your mind is a garden, gentle and sweet, where happy and sad days often meet. Sometimes there's sunshine, bright and warm. Sometimes there's thunder, clouds, and storm. It's okay to cry. It's okay to rest. You're learning, growing, doing your best. Just talk to someone. Don't hide away. Sharing your feelings can brighten your day. Be kind to yourself in all that you do. The world needs the wonderful you. Your mind is a garden. Care for it kind, with love, peace, and joy in your heart and mind. I am definitely learning myself to tend my own garden inside, and it can definitely be easier said than done, especially with all of the voices that are not only external but internal, right? We have other connections and entities that we have made connections with, like even thinking about different addictions or behavior patterns. A lot of these things, almost all the time, are kind of linked to negative forces, and when we open the door, we're bonding with them and allowing them to whisper into our ears. So people that are like, my body needed meat, it's like, well, did your body actually want the meat, or did those parasites, those demonic attachments, want the flesh? Because they will die if you don't eat meat. You won't die because you're not an obligate carnivore. You're a human. Regardless of your blood type, you still are a human. And none of us are obligate carnivores. We do not need to eat flesh to exist, to survive. The many vegans are, proof of that. Not all vegans are healthy, of course. Like not all animal eaters are healthy. I would go to say that no animal eaters can be truly healthy, because to be truly healthy means to be healthy in the mind, the body, and the soul. And if you are eating animals, if your perception is that animals should die and that you're allowed to eat them, that is an unhealthy perception, an unhealthy mental state to be in, unhealthy spiritually as well. You don't understand the karma that's coming when you're eating those animals, and how it is literally making the world around us more negative, more violent, more contested. So the fleshless diet is just the start. There's a lot of other ways. Obviously, vegans are not perfect. I have not been perfect for a very long. I'm still not perfect, but we are definitely all trying on our healing journey. I guess I shouldn't say so. All of us are trying to heal, but everyone is at least trying to survive and make it, whether they're trying to actually heal or not. And understanding that and coming with compassion to realize that everybody's going through something. Everybody has a past, parents that probably didn't do the best job that they could have, were distracted by work, sent you off to school, all these various factors. And so having that compassion and love, and perspective to be able to see that about other people and then react in kindness is really important. Obviously, like I'm saying, we're all still working on our journey. Vegans aren't perfect, but the fleshless diet is the way back to Eden. In Eden, all beings got along and were peaceful. They were frolicking around, cuddling with, Adam and Eve got to cuddle with animals and just be friends with them. All of the animals were friends until Adam and Eve were lured to the border and convinced to start killing and eating animals. The stories in the Holy Megillah are so fascinating and intriguing and make much more sense than the ones that we read in the in the mainstream Bible. So if you have not read them yet, and you want to, the PDF is available in the description box of the Chirp lovers of the Megillah thing. But also on my YouTube channel, I have been reading through the Megillah, and exciting news today, right before my live stream, I finally finished the next chapter, which is 56. I think there's like 116 slides that I ended up doing. So maybe tomorrow, if everything goes well, I will be doing the next chapter finally. I'm really excited. It's full of great things, great information about like aromatherapy and little sachets of herbs, and like even one is for if you think that you're being attacked by negative entities, this certain aromatherapy sachet type thing that you can make, and that'll be the next reading. So I'm super excited about that, having that done, something that my mind can be peaceful about. So all right, I'm going to jump off of here. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything. It feels really nice out here, although it is a little bit chilly. Dave says the fleshless diet is a huge, doable step in the right direction. It definitely is. So if that's all that you can muster up to do, I mean, people talk about the, fighting the New World Order and being against the Matrix and all of this stuff, but eating animals literally keeps us in that system, because if you hunt and kill animals, that kind of karma is coming back for you. And that's what the powers that be are doing in their own way. They might not actually be hunting you down and eating you, but they are feasting off of us in so many different ways. And frankly, they do hunting parties and other, human torture type stuff as well. The same types of things. People want to go on about adrenochrome and the Epstein files and all of these things. And I'm not giving a pass to anybody. None of those things are right. But also, look at what humans are doing to animals. And comparatively speaking, it is, I don't even know the numbers, but what we do to animals is way infinitely worse than what is happening to humans, just because of the scale of what is happening. CAFOs, where there are thousands of cows on one end, these are literally baby little girls that have been trafficked. They're most likely going to be impregnated and forced to bear more children to keep this cycle going. It is, you want to talk about human sex trafficking and child trafficking and stuff, literally look at what we're doing to the animals, and it is the same exact type stuff, but on a way bigger scale, because humanity is part of it too. They are doing it. They're in on it, right? We've accepted this evil, and then want to we're doing this evil to animals, and then we want to complain about it happening to us. But it's the circle of life when we're doing it to the animals, but when it happens to us, oh no, these other beings have to die. It's like, hold on. Since the fact that you're in this position, maybe you could have some empathy, right? Put yourself in the cow's position. If you were that cow, would you want to be in a fence? No. Would you want to be forced pregnant? Would you want milk stolen from you that was meant for your child that got kidnapped to be forced impregnated and all the cycle? See, anyways, I didn't mean to go off on that rant, but it's the number one thing that we can all do to restore this paradise is to stop participating in violence, whether it is eating violence, whether it is, going to war, whether it's using violent, energy between people on Facebook. There is a way that you can, violently communicate with people. And that's kind of this violent or childlike mocking type thing is kind of the status quo. So, yeah, it all is connected though. So Kyle said, holy, that's a lot of slides. Definitely. It definitely is. And it's helping me to, hopefully I didn't go off the screen. It's helping me to learn the information as well. And I'm like ordering like different types of teas to start my own blends and different things like that. So it's been really helpful. Kyle says, we greatly appreciate your effort to make it easier to digest the information. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully it helps a lot of people. Hopefully the videos start to spread. I know that especially once Day's final Megillah comes out, there's just going to be a lot more focus on that. And it's going to be really cool. I got to help number the scrolls that were being finished translating. Day got these scrolls like, I don't know, 40 years. He's had them for maybe 40 years or something, and had kids, had a family, did all these things in between, but finally finished all of the translating. And man, it's a lot. Some of these scrolls are like 400 verses plus, so they're pretty thick. The scrolls to be focused on, and especially if that's not your sole focus, then things can take a little bit longer. I know from my own experience how long things take when I'm not focused on them and when I have too many things going on, which is something I'm still trying to manage right now. Trying to get it organized and prioritized and all of that stuff. Thank you, Kyle, for the planner, by the way. So yeah, it's a lot of work to do. But anyways, I'm really excited about when this final edition will be out, and all of the great things that is going to happen from that naturally, from people wanting the truth as this artificial consciousness nonsense rises. I mean, even before the AI stuff, people were starting to say, hey, we want to do homesteading, right? We want to get out of the system. We're trying to leave this nonsense system and get back to our families and in the land. So there already is, a counter movement of people that are like, no, we're staying with natural consciousness already. And I think maybe a lot of people are going to be on board with the AI stuff until a certain point, and then a lot of them are going to flip or jump ship, because they're like, we didn't realize like this was going to be going this far. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I guess I was saying that because the Appleseed prophecy that the Magdalene shared with Peter Hoppen talks about how young people are going to swell the ranks of the Green Lions in the end days. And like just when things seem hopeless, help will come. So really, really cool stuff. I'm excited for especially the younger generations who are looking for the truth and spirituality and really have not had much of any of it. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for a lot of things. So I'm going to get off of here and go enjoy the rest of my day. Try to stay in these exciting vibes. Dave says, yeah, the next big step, no dairy. It's horrible, the scale of abuse. Absolutely. If you haven't seen the little video called Dairy is Scary, it is a good one. The dairy industry right now is definitely not Nasserean. So any Nassereans that are following the Holy Megillah and saying, we're allowed to have eggs and flesh, or eggs and definitely not flesh. Flesh is never allowed. Eggs and milk from well cared for animals, that can't be coming from the store. None of the store-bought stuff is coming from well cared for animals. Maybe you might find something at the farmer's market, but almost 10 times out of 10, the people that have animals and are taking their milk and eggs, once those animals stop producing, the people don't just have like the money to keep the animal around. And so it's kind of literally dead weight to them in this capitalist mentality, because the cow's not giving back at that point. And now it just needs. So you sell it to a butcher and then you get another cow. That's how a lot of it goes. And that's even the small scale operations. We're not even going to talk about the big scale operations because it's just really bad. So anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. I will catch up with you tomorrow, probably for the next reading of the Holy Megillah. Really excited to get it out, and continue on the readings. Have a wonderful day. May God and the Goddess bless you.